Hi, it's Christy, and welcome back to the Spacious Success podcast. We've all heard the line, you can have it all, you just can't do it all. And let's be honest, it sounds really empowering. But here's an uncomfortable truth. It's not true. And worse, it sets women up to fail. Because the reality is that you can't have it all at once. Even with outsourcing, with delegating, or with help at home, there are still hard limits to your time, your energy, and your attention. Yet, everywhere I look, there are women being praised as being superwoman, applauded for having it all, and often sometimes still trying to do it all. But we see this on LinkedIn, we see it on Instagram, we see it at the school gate. And what looks like praise and often is intended as a compliment is often pressure. What we think is empowerment is actually entrapment. So by the end of this episode, and it's a contentious one, I want you to understand why the Superwoman myth is toxic, the contagion effect that keeps it spreading, and the practical things that you can do to step out of it without stepping away from success. So take off your cape and enjoy this episode. Hi, I'm Dr. Christy Goodwin, a Neuro-Performance scientist, speaker, and executive coach who learned the hard way that chasing success can come at a cost. After burnout landed me in hospital, I made it my mission to help ambitious women who are done trading their health and happiness for high performance. On Spacious Success, I share science-backed strategies and real stories to help you flourish as a female at work and beyond so you can stop paying the success tax. Not long ago, I was scrolling through LinkedIn and I saw a really great post by a very accomplished woman. It's a woman I know. She's a partner in a law firm. She's raising 4 kids. She's juggling it all. She showed an image, a photo of the 4 school bags and the corresponding school shoes lined up at the front door and her laptop sitting beside it. The post was about the 4 hours of work, the invisible but important domestic labour that had gone on that morning, and the emotional toll that that morning had put her through. All of this endured by 8:30 a.m. when they were attempting to leave the house. Now, let's be honest, it was no mean feat. And if we really looked behind the scenes, there were probably some moments where this woman was being superhuman, where some exponentially incredible skills were required. And then when I read through her LinkedIn post, a common word kept popping up: superwoman. I felt uncomfortable because I've been there. I've been called superwoman, and I know it was intended as a compliment, as praise. But being celebrated for juggling impossible loads, for spinning every single plate, for being endlessly available, well, it's just not healthy. You see, behind that compliment, I believe it's a curse. There's an unattainable, an unsustainable expectation that leaves women burning out because they're believing that they're just not strong or capable enough. The days where I've delivered a keynote, I've raced back to school pickup line, managed homework, answered emails between dinner and bedtime, only to collapse into bed utterly exhausted. Now, from the outside, it might look like I'm doing it all, but on the inside, I know the truth. And I'm often, if I'm honest, sometimes running on fumes. But that's not failure, that's physics. You cannot keep every horse on the carousel galloping at once. Not all the horses are up, some are down. You can't have every burner on your stovetop on high without blowing a fuse. But when we label women, and we do it all the time, as superwoman, we fuel the illusion that they are, that they can do it all and have it all, and that illusion is contagious. So why does this superwoman myth stick? Well, there's biology. Our brains run on glucose. Every decision, every time we task switch, every bit of emotional regulation that we offer our kids or our colleagues, well, it burns through glucose. We don't have an infinite supply, so we will get fatigued. Time is another factor. We only get 24 hours a day, even Beyonce. And every yes is often an invisible no. And our energy runs in cycles, circadian rhythms, ultradian rhythms. We are wired as humans for effort and recovery. We are not designed for endless output, for just keeping on going. And yet we are always applauding women for being endlessly capable, endlessly busy. And we see it spreading in workplaces where women overwork to prove that they belong. I see it spreading in homes where mothers are carrying both the mental and the physical load, and let's not forget the digital load. It spreads in friendship groups where we hesitate to admit that we're drowning because, well, women look around and it seems like everyone else is coping. But here's the deeper layer. The system we operate in is still set up for a 1950s family model. School still finishes well before the typical workday does. Appointments assume that a parent, which is usually a mum or a female in a heterosexual relationship, is available before midday and after school. Women make up nearly half the workforce, yet most of the caring and domestic responsibilities are still falling on us. So when we call women Superwoman, we're not empowering them, we're excusing and enabling a system that just hasn't caught up to our modern reality. I believe the Superwoman cape comes with consequences. And we're seeing this, the gender wellbeing gap. 61% of women have reported burnout in the last year. We know that women are attempting to compensate for being busy by multitasking, and that drives up stress and errors. Superwoman mode floods our brains and our bodies with adrenaline and cortisol. We see it impacting our sleep, compromising our immunity, and even putting us at cardiovascular risk and cognitive decline. You see, Superwoman isn't a compliment. I believe she's a warning sign that you're trying to have it all, even if you're not trying to do it all. So how do we step out of the myth without stepping away from success? Firstly, name your season. Ask which horse on the carousel is up and which one is down. Which burner is hot, which one is off. Which one is simmering. My beautiful EA, Karen, who tragically passed away earlier this year, had a real gift for asking me, Christy, what does success in this season of your life look like right now? That question used to anchor me. It anchored me when my husband was sick last year, when my boys started school, when I launched a book, when I had a busy season of speaking work. And it's the question that I now ask myself and my clients. Secondly, redefine success. Forget balance. Balance suggests that if you're walking on a tightrope, two things are in tension. We're at risk of falling. What we need is integration, knowing which burners are hot right now and which other burners just need to wait their turn. Thirdly, we need to dismantle the guilt. I call it the industrial complex. We've been conditioned, especially as females, to believe that guilt proves that we're good mums. It doesn't. Guilt is just evidence of an impossible standard we're trying to hold ourselves up to. Ask yourself, would I want my daughter to feel guilty about her future success? Do I want my sons to think that ambition requires self-sacrifice? Fulfillment isn't selfish, it's fuel. And number 4, show the trade-offs out loud, verbalize them. Don't hide your help. Let your kids see teamwork, the partners that cook like mine does, the projects that are shared, the equal distribution of domestic loads, the home support, the cleaner that you have. And number 5, protect your bandwidth. Your time, your energy, and your attention. These are your 3 most important human currencies. Spend them with intention, not with obligation. Here's what I want you to take from this episode. The women who look like they're doing it all, they're not. They're the women showing the A roll, the highlight reel on social media. Superwoman isn't real. And aspiring to be like her, well, it's breaking us. What your kids, your colleagues, your community need isn't a woman who's trying to do it all or have it all, but instead they need a woman who's leading with clarity, who makes conscious trade-offs, and who protects her biological bandwidth. That's not weakness. To me, that's wisdom, and that is spacious success. In our next episode, we're going to talk about the productivity hijackers. What are the myths, the habits that are stealing your focus? And until then, remember, you don't have to be Superwoman. You just have to be human, strategic, selective, and whole just as you are. I'm Dr. Christy Goodwin, a Neuro-Performance scientist, a speaker, author, executive coach, and a mum. And if today's episode resonated, maybe it agitated you, aggravated you, I'd love for you to subscribe so that you don't miss another episode, and share this with another woman a friend, a colleague, a neighbour who needs this reminder. You don't have to do it all. You don't have to have it all to live an extraordinary life. Spacious success is living success on your terms in this season of your life. Thank you for listening.